Bolton are on their way back after years of financial issues, culminating in administration in 2019, saw the club tumble to League Two less than 10 years from being in the Premier League. Formed in 1874 and switching to their current name 3 years later, Bolton were founder members of the Football League alongside Derby in 1888 and have spent more seasons in the top flight without winning the title than any other club. Bolton moved to the 28,000 capacity Reebok Stadium, now known as the University of Bolton Stadium, in 1997, after over 100 years at former home Burdon Park. Derby's first visit saw Francesco Baiano score twice for the Rams in a thrilling 3-3 draw that December. Derby lead the all-time head-to-head by 65 wins to 46, with Bolton being one of Derby's most regular opponents throughout the years, going all the way back to their first encounter in September 1888, a 6-3 Rams win. The sides last met at this level back in the 1985-86 season, with Derby winning home and away. And while the Rams enjoyed victory courtesy of a Mason Mount hat-trick the last time the sides met 3 years ago, Derby's last visit to Bolton saw them fall to a 1-0 defeat in September 2018. Hello, season's greetings and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. After watching everyone else play yesterday, today Derby County get their festive fixture list underway with a trip to Bolton Wanderers. And just in case you weren't paying attention, here's what happened in League One on Boxing Day. Plymouth maintained their lead at the top of the table. Morgan Whittaker's late goal enough to win at Cheltenham. Ipswich breezed to victory at home to Oxford United. There was also a win for third place Sheffield Wednesday at Fleetwood as well. Barnsley were held at Accrington. Wycombe's win over Bristol Rovers enough to take them into the top six at Derby's expense. Here are all the results from the day then. The top three all winning. Port Vale were Boxing Day's big movers thanks to the victory over Morecambe. Big wins at the bottom as well for MK Dons and Burton Albion. We'll show you what it all means for the table a little bit later. Yeah, but the big thing that you need to know ahead of the game at Bolton is that a victory for Derby will see them climb as high as fourth in the League One table. And I wonder if we'll see Jason Knight back in the starting lineup this afternoon. He impressed off the bench against Forest Green before Christmas.
Yeah, it's good to be back involved. Obviously, like you say, I had an injury for about 6 weeks, so it was tough. It was tough behind the scenes, but now I'm back a few weeks now, and hopefully I can be pushing for a start soon.
We're not used to seeing you out of the team through injury. It hasn't happened often. I think this was the longest stretch that you've had on the sidelines. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, it's tough. Nobody likes to be injured. Obviously, it's important you play for yourself and for the club. But it's given me time to work on other things, get in the gym and get stronger that kind of way as well. So I've took it as a positive and to come back stronger, and I think I have. So hopefully I can start showing that on the pitch as soon as.
How frustrating was the timing? Because a new manager comes in, head coach comes in, you start the first 2 games under him, and then the injury happens. You must have been tearing your hair out. Yeah,
it's difficult. Obviously, like you say, the gaffer coming in and you want to make a good first impression, and I had to sort of wait a bit to show him. And obviously, the lads have been doing really well. Like, we're unbeaten in a good few games now, so it's tough to get back in the team. But hopefully, coming on and trying to make an impact that way will get me there.
How's he been with the new boss?
Yeah, he's been great. I think everyone can see the way he wants to play. It's really aggressive, really intense, and I think that's what we're starting to show now. It's obviously not going to be a perfect picture from the get-go, but we're working on. I think there's a lot of positives to take from it.
You had a couple of little cameos off the bench, and then a proper go of it off the bench on Saturday against Forest Green. Got an assist as well. You must have been really pleased with that. Yeah,
I was happy. It's important for me to get my goals tally and my assist tally up, and I think that's something you're judged on, especially as a midfielder these days. So that was important, and like you say, just trying to make the best impact I can to show everyone I'm capable of again.
I have to ask you about what it's like playing with David McGoldrick. He seems to be a magician out there at times.
Yeah, he's incredible. I think everyone can see why he's played at the top level. Great guy off the pitch, but an incredible player on the pitch, and to get 2 hat-tricks in before Christmas is something you don't really see that often. So hopefully he can keep doing the business. Looking
ahead, the cliche is always, Christmas is a really important time of year, the fixtures thick and fast and all that sort of thing. Are you guys really feeling that we can make a move over the next few weeks? Yeah,
I think always the Christmas period is sort of let you know where you're going to be in the new year, obviously. But no, it's an important time for the club in the playoffs now, so it's important we keep striving and keep going forward and keep moving up the table effectively.
What do you make of the first challenge for you? Because Bolton are another side with playoff ambitions, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They're a space above us, I think, and they're the teams we need to beat if we want to get our ultimate goal, which is getting promotion again, or promotion up to the championship. So no, these are the games we want to play in. We want to win, and we have to win really.
Obviously, you're used to playing on Boxing Day, having football on Boxing Day. You didn't, I don't think, last season, and you won't this season either. How much does that change and disrupt your plans?
Not disrupt it. I think we'll get some more time with family and friends on Christmas Day, so that's good. But it won't be too indulgent in the Christmas dinner because we've got a big game on the day after.
What are you doing? Where are you going to be on the day?
I'll be at home. We've got family and my missus in the house, so I'll have a big Christmas dinner to look forward to and hopefully a good result the day after.
You doing the cooking?
I will not be doing the cooking.
Just to bring you back to the football, because it is a busy time for you, and you're going to start to see teams that you've played before. Does that sort of change the dynamic with that sort of unknown taken away a little bit for you?
No, I don't think. There was a lot of senior players coming in the dressing room this year, so I think we went in with a good understanding what the league was going to be like. It was going to be physical, it was going to be tough, and nobody expected different. But you're right, yeah, we've know a little bit more about each individual team now, and that should hopefully help us going forward.
Jason Knight there, more from him in Matchday Live on RamsTV from 2:30 this afternoon. Well, both Bolton and Derby have their eyes on a playoff place this season. Bolton finished 10 points off the pace last season, but were one of the better sides in the division from Christmas onwards. Manager Ian Evatt eyeing that sort of run again this term.
Yeah, I mean, we've put ourselves in a good position. There's still more to come, I believe. But what I will say is we've given ourselves a solid start and a solid foundation to build from. We need to do better in the games against the teams in and around us. There's no denying that. I think we've had some moral victories along the way, but what we've needed to do is win the moments more often and more consistently. Win the battle in both boxes. These games are seldom used to creating lots of chances. It's normally quite tight, and we have to make sure that we're clinical at one end and really secure at the other. So yeah, looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good start and a good game against a very good team.
He'll have the blinkers on, of course, but Derby County, a club that was very important in your career and in your life. Just tell us briefly, going back to where it all started from.
I mean, I was scouted for Derby at the age of 11, signed at the age of 11 and stayed till I was in my early 20s. Gave me a fantastic football education, learnt so much. Made my debut under Jim Smith at 17 years old. Fantastic football man, fantastic character. Steve Round, who's now assistant at Arsenal, had me from 11 years old till my early 20s, and as I said, taught me so much. I have a huge amount of admiration for that place, a huge amount of admiration for that football club. Great football club and institution, and yeah, I wish them well. I think they've got the right manager in charge now to get them back on a sound and solid footing and get them promoted out of this division. And I wish them every success apart from this game.
Of course, a lot of similarities with the club you're at now, of course, because big clubs trying to find their way back and going back in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. It just shows that we've not been the only ones to suffer, and really thankful that the club was saved first and foremost. And as I said, now they're back on a solid financial footing. As I said, brilliant football club with a brilliant fan base, and I wish them every success. Not to our detriment, of course, but in the future, I think they're heading in the right direction again.
Yeah, but it's business, and you would be desperate to win, of course, because if you do that, already in the top 6, nicely in the top 5, as you say, just keep that progression going, keep that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, we know this is a key period. Christmas is predominantly for the movers and shakers, so to speak. You can gain momentum over this period. You play a lot of games fast, and you can gain points and gain momentum, as I said before. Not resting on our laurels, very difficult challenges ahead, but as I said, one we're looking forward to, one we're looking to embrace, and hopefully show the best version of ourselves.
That's the Bolton manager, Ian Everett there. Well, Derby actually playing a day later than everyone else throughout the festive period due to today's game being moved for television. It means that Derby had a 9-day break before today's game. Paul Warren's been telling us how that affected preparations for this afternoon.
Well, it's just different. We have a bit more time to train the lads. So like today, today's Friday and I'm all confused with my days, but we're using today as a Thursday tactical, tomorrow as the Friday, then a day off, then have another Friday really. So it just gives us a little bit more time to elongate it, I think. It gives it a bit of time, the lads have a little bit more rest to refresh, because we'll have quick games in quick succession. So from our point of view, coach's point of view, it's quite nice.
Fans and certainly media always talk about the importance of the Christmas and New Year period, because it's 3 games in a row, and you know, very quickly you can move up or down the table in some senses. Is that something you think about, or are you focused on the next game, on the next game, on the next game?
I think my politically correct answer would be no, just think about the next game, but that wouldn't be the truth. I always think about groups of games and attack 3 or 4 games at a time, and I think I really enjoy games over Christmas. I always think our teams play with a real energy and try and grab January by the throat. So that's sort of what normally happens is in previous League One campaigns, is that we got the recruitment right in the summer, and you get to January and you might only have to tweak 1 or 2. So when loads of clubs talk about, oh yeah, we're signing him, they're signing loads, in my opinion, is because they got loads wrong. Whereas I'd like to think we go into January with this group in pretty good form. I know we need to tweak a couple of positions, but there isn't a great deal wrong. So I'd like to think that we could get through the festivities in good fettle, but then it allows you to attack January. And I think sometimes as a coach, and I've made the mistake myself, that with all the ingoings, outgoings, who's coming, who's not coming, you're swapping him for a bag of chips, you're getting him, if you let him use your caravan for the weekend, it's just absolute mayhem in January. And if you can just focus on the players you got and just tweak a little bit, you're great. And that's how I see this period, the whole, not just the December, January. So then if you can get, hopefully 3, 4, 5 wins in that period, you go into February in a really good, strong position, and other teams are then trying to, if they've made loads of changes, loads of improvements, it takes a long time to get all them players to bed in. That's why, January is good to tweak, but not to have massive changes. So I always like this time of year.
3 games in 7 days coming up for you. Not as if you've not done that before this season, of course. But are you going to need everyone in the squad, do you think, over Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, again, my honest answer is hopefully not. And that sounds an awful thing to say, because if I'm using all 21, 22, potentially we've got fit. I know Chesy's nearly back. But if I'm using all of them, there's been some either catastrophic performances or injury crisis. I'd probably, realistically, you're probably looking at using 16 of them. That's probably in fairness. But you don't know which 16 yet, because you don't know where the problems are, the injuries are, what the opposition are doing yet until you get to the next one. But as always, it's always about, and I think the lads get bored of me saying it, but it's always about the squad. It isn't the, it isn't the team, it's about the squad. So I spoke to a player the other day who I was trying to sign, who was involved in a promotion team, who hadn't played a lot in that promotion season, but was buzzing the fact that he'd had a promotion season. And I don't think, You know, when you're younger, when you're 20, 21, you think, oh, if I don't get promoted this year, there's always next year. There's some very good players. I don't think Tom Barkhausen's been involved in a promotion. I think the highest he's finished is like 9th or something. I might be wrong. You can quote me because I tell fibs. But so the whole squad thing. So it doesn't matter if you play 40 games, 20 games, 10 games, 5 games. It matters if you've been part of something, and that's what we're trying to create here, to be part of something. And you know, over the next few games, few weeks, like virtually everyone in the squad, I think, has played a first team minute. So if they've played, they've been part of it. And I'd like to try and keep as many of them together as I can. However, I know to bring new bodies in, you know, some people's game time is going to be even more limited, so might want to go. But that's sort of how I see it.
You mentioned James Chester there, getting closer. Everyone else okay?
Yeah, I don't think we've got any injury issues at all. So yeah, Chesy's doing his last little box tick today. And then he's training with the full squad tomorrow, so he won't be involved, obviously, at Bolton, unless something catastrophic happens. If you see his name on the team sheet, there's a problem, in all due respect to him. So he needs a couple of weeks really intensive training. But yeah, so in that respect, the lads have done really well, and you know, I'd thank the backroom staff, because they're the ones who tape them together and send them out every day and prepare them. So collectively, everyone's had a really good month, and sets us up nicely.
Well, there he is, Paul Warne. Before we go, here's the League One table. The top 3 are well clear of the chasing pack. Still Plymouth leading the way. Actually, Ipswich with the better goal difference. Bolton and Derby can both climb as high as 4th today. Derby slipped out of the top 6 yesterday, but only need a point today to get back in. Morecambe now 7 points from safety at the bottom of the table. The only club who've really been cut adrift so far. MK Dons close to getting out of the relegation zone after their win yesterday. So the stage is set for today's action in League One. It is Bolton Wanderers against Derby County, and overseas viewers can watch the action with us right here on RamsTV. Get your match pass at the website dcfc.co.uk. Goodbye for now.